On the topic of, we'll talk about tobacco first, because I am recently a converted Altria to BTI shareholder. I was convinced by people like Fabio and Fiscal over here to put my very small position in Altria into BTI. So, and I know that you were both in Philip Morris and BTI, so just kind of share your thesis if you want with what you're seeing there.
I can touch first on Philip Morris. This is one I've owned for a while, and honestly, I I think the theses here are kind of somewhat similar, which is that you've got this core legacy portfolio that it's steady. It's not, you're not going to get fantastic growth most likely out of that business unless something changes in the last kind of 30-year trend that we're seeing, which is less people smoking each year. However, I think Philip Morris has the most promising new age portfolio. It accounts for, I believe, almost 40% of their revenue now. Kind of the one that gets the most notoriety in there is probably Zyn, but IQOS is also very popular, especially in certain European markets in Japan. And that's kind of your heat not burn technology. That's really kind of, if you think of Zyn as sort of replacing traditional oral tobacco, IQOS is intended to kind of replace cigarette smoking. So they have, I think, wonderful new age products. Maybe not from a consumer's perspective, that's up for people to decide, but from a unit economics perspective, they look really good. The margin profiles are very good. They are quite literally addictive, so it's sticky in that sense in terms of customer retention. And so they've just done a really good job with that business, and I think it's going to continue to grow. And then on the flip side, the international, I guess the cigarettes portfolio for Philip Morris, which is basically Marlboro International, and some other cigarette brands as well. Unlike the US, where you've got sort of this major proliferation in like illicit vaping products, which is causing kind of a steeper decline in cigarette smoking than what you're seeing in the international markets, Philip Morris operates in places where the cigarette smokers decline, the volume decline there is not nearly as steep as what Altria is witnessing here in the United States. So, Southeast Asia, smoking is still very prevalent. Same with a lot of the European markets that they operate. So they've kind of got this nice, steady legacy portfolio, and what I think could be a wonderful new age products portfolio.
Yeah, the Zins are they're a little out of control from somebody who sees it on a firsthand basis sometimes,
100%.
unfortunately.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a good thing if you're a
Yep.
shareholder.
Yeah.
Hey,
If
and
you're a shareholder, it's a wonderful thing.
it's the healthiest nicotine product out there. So maybe
I'm not
they're an
speaking
ESG
from
stock.
experience, so
I could definitely see myself owning British American Tobacco, and I do think it's cheap. And I guess maybe talking through that, if you look at them, it's almost a little bit of a different thesis where you can work backwards, and you see that it has one of the most attractive dividend yields out there. I'm looking at, and Google will be probably approximately correct here on their little search. It's 8% dividend yield. I mean, it's much higher than maybe anything out there except Altria.
Yep.
You kind of got to ask, is that sustainable?